All right, let me go over it one more time. Let me go over it one more time. You are not where you're supposed to be because of you. You are not where you're supposed to be because of you. You are not where you're supposed to be financially because of you. It's all you. And it's because you're having a bad moment. You are human. You are human. I had a thought the other day, human. And I had it. I was on a treadmill. I had it for about 60 seconds. Then I had it for 90 seconds. And I was like, well, let's stop right now. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's stop right now. I don't know why you're thinking this. Because it is not helpful to where you are. And it's not helpful to where you're going. Human, it might have been Tuesday or Wednesday, I was on a treadmill. Just some random dumb stuff came in my head. Just random dumb stupid stuff. And I was like, I do not accept that. This is my brain, not yours. I do not accept this thought right now. This thought is not healthy for my wife. It's not healthy for my kids. It's not helpful for ETA. It's not helpful for a PIC. It has absolutely nothing. It's not helpful for those of you. I could not do a video from this energy right now. There's nothing healthy about what just came in my brain. I will not just let it sit there and take residence. You have to go. And so I had to think another thought that was the opposite thought of that thought. And I had to say that for 90 seconds. And guess what happens? As powerful as the brain is, and as many things that it could think of in the subconscious mind in seconds, it cannot have two opposing thoughts. I thought that once your brain does not work that way. It cannot think of two things at one time. It can only think one thing at a time. And I decided that the thing that randomly came to my mind, I didn't want to think about that. Don't drown your voice for a voice like close your ears and hear your voice. You know what's going to happen. When you hear your voice and do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be able to bless your spouse and your kids and your family the way you can't when you listen to them. Does that make sense? I know you can't listen to somebody else's voice, what they told you to do. What you couldn't do when you took that stuff serious. It's your voice. You got to start listening to it. It knows best. Is that clear? When you get a thought, that's not your thought. Stop letting that thought just take control. It doesn't belong there. Anything that's not in alignment with your dreams and your goals, let it go. And so you're going to stop in the middle of the day with your phone and you're going to put your earphones on and you're going to listen to whatever you listen to and you're going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it takes, and you're going to get out of that funk. Okay. How many of y'all, you get into a funk sometime? Let me see your hand. Be honest. How many of you get into a funk for more than like you let it just take the whole day? Just be honest. Stop. Stop. We're going to do a 5-minute funk. I'm just being real. That's it. That's our rule for the new year. 5-minute funk. That's it. And after that 5 minutes, it's over. And during the 5 minutes, we're going to stop it. So we might stop it at 2. We might stop it at 3. But by 5, it's stopped. What would your life look like if you only listen to your voice and you use your inner energy to help you to become successful? What would it look like? Now, let me ask you this. How many of you have listened to other people's voice? You listen to it. Let me see your hand. You've literally listened to other people's voice. Hands down. How has that worked out? I'm just being real. Here's what's crazy. It don't even work. Are you still doing it? Like it didn't even work. Like it don't even help you, but you're still doing it. You know why? Because you're more concerned about how they feel about you than how you love yourself. And you got a love problem and you need to fix it. You don't love yourself and you need to fix that. Why? Because you're concerned about what they think. They're not even you. And so we're going to fix our thinking. We're going to channel our energy. And this is going to be the best year of our life. Does that make sense? Come on. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, you can be seated now. All right, today is all about you. This is all about you. Okay, so do me a favor. Stop being deep and take everything you learn and use it. Okay, stop like trying to tell people you read 6 books and you ain't done nothing with them. I'm just going to let religious people kill me. I read the whole Bible and ain't nothing changed. You're the same person who's like, you get brownie points for reading the whole Bible. Like I go to church every 7 and you get brownie points for that. Like, what do you get for that? It's about change, right? So I don't want you to read the Bible. I just want you to find 3 scriptures this year that you can read and let them do them. Read 4 books and do what they tell you to do. Matter of fact, read 1 book and do what the book tell you to do. Like for real, just read 1 chapter and put the book down. Do what the chapter tell you to do. I'm just being real. What does it benefit you to read the whole book and you're not using it? All right, so this is the year of execution. Like we're going to execute in small ways, and those kids going to turn into something. Right. So I heard something that revolutionized my life. All right, I'm going to show you today is going to be nothing but me just going 1 through 3 on you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, helping you. So when you walk out of this place, I need at least 3 things that you're going to do that you weren't doing before, or you were doing and you're going to do it better. Does that make sense? All right. So here's what I want to tell you, and it's going to hurt. But if you're not exactly where you want to be, it's your fault. Write that down. It's your fault. Put that down. Put that down. If there's an area where you're not successfully and like you want to be successful, it's your fault. Now, here's the cool thing about it. If it's your fault, then you have the power to do what you had a power to change it. All right. So when we leave here, whatever you don't have that you want to have, if you're willing to make the adjustments, you can have it. So here's the first one, right? Write the word down wealth. Now, here's the biggest challenge that I have, and you got to be careful why all. And for a lot of us, if you are a minority, I get it. But I want to educate you today because we have been enslaved. What happens now is that we see wealth as money. All right, and I want you to understand something. When I break down what wealth is to you, money is low-hanging fruit. It's the easiest thing to get. I just want to make sure you're clear on that. And the reason why I say that is I want to help you, because what happens for a lot of us is we get money. And then all of a sudden we think we made it. You have not. Money is the easiest thing. Why? Because you live in a capitalistic society. So money is the easiest thing to get. Being in a relationship for a long period of time and not getting a divorce, that's hard to do. Having a successful relationship with your kids, that's a hard thing to do. So what I want you to understand is when you make money and you're walking around with the Louis bag, I feel you. Congratulations. That's the lowest level though. That's like getting a G. I just want to make sure I'm clear. That's a G ed. Because what? They sell Lewis. They don't sell how to be in a successful marriage. They don't have that. You can't go to the store and get that. You can't go buy. I got $2,000. I want to have a great marriage. All right, bet. Give me the $2,000. Here go a receipt. Come back in a month if it don't work. They ain't got no courses for you and your kids. So I just need you to understand. There's nothing wrong with making a lot of money and buying stuff, but you cannot make me. Think of you all that in a bag of chips. You got a G. Congratulations. We should throw a little party for you. A little baby one though. You ain't graduated from college. Ain't nobody about to cash you out. It's a G ed, you feel me? But you should be proud. Put it up on the wall. But because you make money and you live in a house and you got stuff that's not what Dr. Martin Luther King died for. He wasn't on that. He didn't say, I'm about to die so you can go buy Louis purses. Is that clear? So I just want you to make sure that when you make good money, you put it in its proper place. Money is good to have, but if you can exchange a great marriage and a great relationship with your kids and only make $50,000 versus being a billionaire. But can't nobody stand you. You probably go for the $50,000 and have a healthy family. Does that make sense? And you'd be healthy. Amen. That's the highest level of success is when you get through all your hurt and your pain and you become whole. Because here's the deal. If you make money, you can teach me that. But if you're not whole, you can't lead me. No, you got to hear what I'm saying. It doesn't make us bad people. If you were 3, ain't nobody tripping. If you were 4, ain't nobody tripping. But the world would not follow the 21-year-old Eric Thomas. Let me just be clear on that. The world ain't about to follow the 21-year-old Eric. My wife wasn't even following me. My wife left. My wife wasn't even feeling me and what I was doing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Nobody would follow the 26-year-old Eric. I was still a work in progress. But you will follow the 49-year-old Eric. Why? Because in many areas, I'm further on the road than you are. I'm not better than you, but I've made a commitment to be wealthier earlier than you.
I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. This is what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. First, you will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. And I should know. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. So I'm in the wings. I'm about to go on stage, but the guy in front of me, he's singing like Pavarotti. He's just he's just going on and on and on, and I'm just shrinking. I'm getting smaller and smaller. So they say, "Oh, thank you very much, and you'll be hearing from us." So I come out with my little sheet music, and it was Just My Imagination by the Temptations. That's what I came up with. So I hand it to the accompanist, and she looks at it and looks at me and looks out at the director and was like, all right. So I start, I'm going to sing. I'm like, it's just my imagination once again, and then coming away with me. And they're not saying anything, so I'm thinking I'm getting better. So I start getting into it. It was just running this out of your thank you very much, Mr. Washington. Thank you. So I assumed I didn't get the job. But the next part of the audition, he called me back. The next part of the audition is the acting part of the audition. So I'm like, hey, okay, maybe I can't sing, but I know I can act. So they pair me with this guy, and again, I didn't know about musical theater. And musical theater is big, so they can reach everyone all the way in the back of the stadium. And I'm more from a realistic, naturalistic kind of acting where you actually talk to the person next to you. So I don't know what my line was. My line was, well, hand me the cup. And his line was, well, I will hand you the cup, my dear. The cup will be there to be handed to you. And I said, oh, okay. Well, should I give you the cup back? Oh, yes, you should give it back to me, because you know that is my cup, and it should be given back to me. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed, and I prayed. But I continued to fail, and fail, and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. So someone talked about it. Won the Tony Award. And I didn't have to sing, by the way. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? Here's my second point about failure. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? You've invested a lot in your education, and people have invested in you. And let me tell you, the world needs your talents. Man, does it ever. I just got back from Africa like 2 days ago, so if I'm rambling on, it's because I'm jet lagged. I just got back from South Africa. It's a beautiful country, but there are places there with terrible poverty that need help. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The Middle East needs your help. Japan needs your help. Alabama needs your help. Tennessee needs your help. Louisiana needs your help. Philadelphia needs your help. The world needs a lot, and we need it from you. We really do. We need it from you young people. I mean, I'm not speaking for the rest of us up here, but I know I'm getting a little grayer. We need it from you, the young people, because remember this. So you got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. Because remember this, you will never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it, and all they got was robbed. So the question is, what are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors. Some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists. Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with what you have? All right, now here's my last point about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I still can't say it. It's cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it. I couldn't say it. I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. Yeah, down. I was a 1.8 GPA one semester, and the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in a mirror, and every time I looked at the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. First of all, she said, somebody give me a piece of paper. Give me a piece of paper. She said, young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy. She said, you are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now mind you, I'm 20 years old, I'm flunked out of school. In fact, like a wise ass, I'm thinking to myself, maybe she's got something in that crystal ball about me getting back into school next fall. But maybe she was onto something, because later that summer, while working as a counselor at a YMCA camp in Connecticut, we put on a talent show for the campers. And after the show, another counselor came up to me and asked, have you ever thought about acting? You're good at that. So when I got back to Fordham that fall, I got in and I changed my major once again for the last time. And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world and I have spoken to millions of people through my movies. Millions who up till this day couldn't see me, who up till this day I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me, they could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. But I see you today, and I'm encouraged by what I see. And I'm strengthened by what I see. And I love what I see.
Because every time you bring your feelings to business, you are that further from being successful in terms of business. They don't go together. It's gas and water. They don't go together. Oil and water. They don't go together. Don't mix the two. When I was a young kid, my mom wouldn't buy me certain things, and my boys had what are they called? Stonewash jeans. My boys had the stonewash. My mom wouldn't let me get the stonewash. So I was like, I'm going to make my own stonewash. I had some dark Levi's. I'm about to make my own stonewash. I put some bleach in the water. Boom, put my jeans there. Then I threw a little ammonia in that joker. Boom. The jeans came off fire, but I almost died in the process. I'm just being real. I didn't know. My boys like, your mom won't know nothing about bleach, them jokes, ammonia, boom. I literally remember falling back. You couldn't really see it, but you could smell it. I was like, man, that's what happens when you mix feelings in business. Every time you do it, just know that's going to happen. Feelings, it's a business transaction. I feel when you go into business, go in with clarity, know what you want, say what you want. Don't beat around the bush. That's number one. Why y'all got that? I just want to make sure we clear. I'm showing y'all as I'm watching Dan Gilbert, as I'm watching him in the meetings, as I'm watching him do the training. Here's what's crazy. Carl, I don't know if you remember this, and you can grab somebody, get Carl a mic, because he might be able to bring a perspective that I can't bring. But every year, 2-3 times a year, I would take my whole staff and we would go to Dan Gilbert's training. Watch this, guys. Watch what Dan Gilbert did. I've never seen this before. Normally when you get hired, normally when somebody hires you, what's the first thing you do after you get hired? And I'm not trying to be deep. Normally when somebody hires you, you do what? Orientation. Then after orientation, what? Okay, training. And then what? Somebody show you around. Then what? You can do your job. Now, from the time they hire you and you do your job, let's be real. How many days is that? A day. And you ain't doing no 30-day training. Right? Watch this. With Dan Gilbert, it's the opposite. When he'd hire you, he'd bring you to a conference first, like this. Imagine that. You get hired day one, you come into this right here for multiple days. This is what you're doing. Food everywhere. They giving out bags the whole night. Unbelievable. And so the first week, he tells you who they are. Once you find out who they are, if you don't fit, you get to go home. He doesn't do it the opposite. You don't figure out what your job is first, then figure out the business. You learn everything about the culture and the company's culture and who they are from the CEO and his right-hand man. And after that week, if you don't like it, you get to go home. It's the opposite with most companies. We don't communicate with you. We don't communicate the culture. We end up getting fired because we don't really know what we're supposed to be doing. I love it. Guess what? Guess what? The number one reason Dan Gilbert would fire people is because they didn't answer a call in 24 hours. That was his biggest pet peeve. It took you what? 30 hours. You're fired. And people would do what when they found out they were getting fired because they didn't answer a call in 24 hours. Some people was tripping like, how you gonna fire me? Because I ain't answered the call. Because I told you the first week, I told you that was a part of it. You knew. I was very clear on what my expectations were. You didn't do what I said, you fired. And guess what? You can't sue him, you can't say nothing. Why? Because the first 7 days, he made everything clear. He told you exactly what you need to do and how you need to do it. Most of us go wrong because we don't communicate with clarity. People don't know what they're supposed to be doing, what they're supposed to be doing. But once you tell them what they're supposed to be doing, it's over after that. It's a wrap. Once you know, I'm holding you accountable. Once you sign your name, clear communication, you can't hold people accountable for something they don't know. And many of us are not successful because we're not like you going straight into business when you're doing business. You're going straight into business. You're putting people straight to work. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know what you believe. They don't know what's important to you. Does that make sense? It does. Does that make sense? So I want you to put down communication scale to 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, like I communicate super effectively. Now that you know, what number would you give yourself? And then write down the 3 things you need to change immediately when you leave as it relates to communicating. We're going to get to the bag, y'all. We ain't here to inspire nobody. We're going to get to the bag. The bag is totally different now for me. Mr. Bag is different. And listen to me, you only need to figure this out one time. And when you figure it out one time, you got it for the rest of your life. I never have to worry about speaking another day in my life. Never have to worry about speaking another day in my life. There are probably about 40,000 gigs a year. I'm going to get at least 1,000 calls from those 40,000. It's not going to change for me. I'd have to do something terribly crazy. I know what they want. I know how to give it to. I communicate way more effectively now. And guess what? If I can't do it, I pay somebody to do it for me so they can make sure they get what they want. And then when I deliver, I give you exactly what you want. I exceed your expectations. Beautiful. Good. Somebody tell me if you didn't give yourself a 10. Somebody who didn't give themselves a 10. You gave yourself a 4 or 5. Where are you? 4 or 5. Good. Give me the 3 things you said you need to do differently. Good. More direct and clear. Good. So also what I want you to do now is I want you to identify why you weren't doing it before. Why weren't you doing it before? Because I don't want you just to be like writing something down. I told you why I wasn't communicating effectively before. Because for 5 years of my life, I dreaded asking my mom, was that my real father? You feel me? Does that make sense, Lachana? I dreaded asking her. And the day on the 5th year that I asked her, and she told me, no, that is not your real father. Imagine now how I feel about having real conversations with people. The most important conversation I could have in my life turned very ugly. Quick. And so after that conversation with my mom, I always felt funny about having serious, real conversations. Does that make sense? Ask yourself why you have a problem being direct. Right? And I always remember when me and my mom would be direct, where that would end up. Like it would end up in the blow up. So I was like, all right, cool. I don't even feel like I ain't mad at my mom, but I don't want to deal with that. So let me just, since we can't communicate like I'm trying to talk, you trying to, and we can't, I'm like, I'm out, Ma, like, nah, I don't like you, but I just don't want to do that. So I'm just out so that we don't have to do that, because I don't know how we're going to do this and not do that. So if we can't, I just got it, because I don't want to do that. So I want you to be real on why you can't be direct. Why? Because the next time it happens, you're not going to be able to be direct if you can't get to the root of it. So how old are you? 28. So there's a reason why for 28 years you ain't really been direct. You feel me? Right? So now I want you to be like, this is why I wasn't. And we're going to go to the next level. All right, yeah. Now remember what I said though. If you leave the mic right there for me, Ray, leave the mic, remember what I told you. If you don't respect something, you can't do what? If you don't respect it, you're not going to be able to do what? Anybody can answer that. The stuff that we have respect for, how do we treat it? Good. When we don't respect it, we don't what? So what happens is, you see assertive in a bad way. I want to make sure y'all catching this. I want to help you. You're not being assertive because you're a bad person. You're not being assertive because you're afraid to be assertive. You are not assertive because the person that you love the most was assertive with you in a way that rubbed you the wrong way. So when you look at assertiveness, you always see it from your mom. And because you didn't like it when your mom did it, you don't want to do nobody else like that, because you feel like if you talk to them the way your mama talked to you, that they're going to feel the way you felt when your mama talked to you like that. Does that make sense? So what you have to understand is we have to now replace the evil way we saw assertive and see assertive in a good way. We got to change our paradigm.
Where you held on to your integrity, even when it was difficult, will be the ones that define you. Integrity isn't just about who you are in the good times, but who you remain when the stakes are high, when no one's applauding, and when the choice to do right is the harder path. Integrity is what defines you in the eyes of others. It's not just about being truthful in the moment, but about living a life where your actions consistently align with your words. People are drawn to those who demonstrate integrity because in a world full of uncertainty, trust is rare. When others see that you mean what you say, that you are reliable, and that your character remains intact, no matter the circumstances, they begin to trust you on a deep, fundamental level. This trust is not something that can be demanded or coerced. It is a product of consistency, honesty, and transparency over time. Trust is the bedrock of every meaningful connection. Whether in business, friendships, or family, trust creates a space where people feel safe, where they can share openly, and where collaboration flourishes. When you show integrity, you demonstrate that you can be counted on, even when it's difficult. The decisions you make reflect who you are, and people pay close attention to your actions. Over time, these actions become the basis upon which they form their opinions of you. If your words match your deeds, if your promises are followed through with actions, the result is trust. The value of trust cannot be overstated. In a professional setting, people will align themselves with leaders they can trust. In negotiations or partnerships, a reputation for integrity can be the deciding factor in whether someone chooses to do business with you or not. No one wants to work with someone they can't rely on, and integrity is what assures others that you will do what you say. In personal relationships, trust provides the foundation for intimacy and understanding. It allows people to be vulnerable, knowing that their emotions, words, and presence will be treated with respect. But integrity doesn't just build trust, it maintains it. This is crucial because trust is fragile. While it can take years to build, it can be shattered in an instant. A single act of dishonesty, betrayal, or inconsistency can undo all the trust that was painstakingly built over time. Once broken, trust is difficult, sometimes impossible to repair. People will remember when you failed to live up to your word, They will be hesitant to trust again. And even if you are forgiven, the shadow of doubt often lingers. There may be times when compromising your integrity seems like an easier path, especially when the stakes are high. Temptations to cut corners, to tell half-truths, or to hide certain facts may arise in pursuit of short-term success. But this is a dangerous path. While you might gain something in the moment, the long-term cost is much higher. A damaged reputation, lost relationships, or diminished respect from your peers is far too great a price to pay for a fleeting victory. In contrast, those who uphold their integrity, even in difficult times, are rewarded with a solid foundation of trust that can sustain them through adversity. Being honest and transparent is not always easy, but it is always the right choice. When people see that you are willing to own your mistakes, admit when you don't know something, or stand firm on your values, they recognize that you are someone they can trust. Trust, after all, is not about perfection. It's about showing that you are reliable, that you take responsibility, and that you are committed to doing what is right, even when it's not convenient. Integrity is not about grand gestures, it's about the small, everyday choices that define who you are. It's about showing up, being truthful, and standing by your word. As you live with integrity, you will find that trust begins to build naturally around you. And that trust will open doors that might otherwise have remained closed. People will follow you, support you, and believe in you, knowing that your character is strong and that your word is true. Integrity, at its core, is the foundation of self-respect. It's the invisible force that drives us to stand firm in our values and principles, even when no one is watching. It transcends external validation and applause. What good is success or recognition if the person in the mirror doesn't reflect someone you can respect? At the end of each day, the world fades away, and you're left with yourself, your choices, and your conscience. That internal dialogue is shaped by the integrity with which you've conducted yourself. If you've compromised your values, cut corners, or acted against your moral compass, it doesn't matter how much applause you've garnered, you'll feel a void. But when you live with integrity, that void doesn't exist. Instead, there's a deep sense of pride, a quiet confidence that emanates from within, because you know you've acted in alignment with your beliefs. Respecting yourself starts with doing what's right, not what's easy. Integrity isn't always convenient. There are moments when standing by your values may cost you opportunities, friendships, or even reputation. But those are temporary sacrifices for the eternal reward of self-respect. You can hold your head high because you haven't sold out, you haven't betrayed the principles that define you. This unshakable foundation of self-respect will carry you through life's most difficult moments. When adversity strikes, when the pressure mounts, it's your integrity that will keep you grounded. Others may falter, compromise, or take shortcuts, but you will remain steady because you've built a character rooted in something far greater than external success, internal strength. There's a certain freedom that comes with living a life of integrity. You're not bound by the opinions or judgments of others because you know that, regardless of the noise around you, you've stayed true to who you are. That kind of freedom is rare, and it's something that only those who live with integrity experience. You move through life with a quiet assurance that no matter what challenges come your way, no matter what others may say or do, you've stayed on the path that aligns with your values. That self-assurance isn't arrogance, it's an inner peace that comes from knowing you've done the right thing. When you consistently act with integrity, you reinforce that respect for yourself. Each time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you strengthen that inner dialogue that tells you you're worthy. This isn't about perfection, but about consistency. Integrity doesn't require you to be flawless, but it demands that you strive to be honest with yourself and others. When you fall short, integrity means owning up to it, making it right, and learning from it. That, too, builds self-respect, because you know you're not pretending to be something you're not. You're fully accepting of your humanity while refusing to compromise on your core values. In the end, integrity fuels self-respect like nothing else. It builds a sense of worth that external accolades can never provide. When you live in alignment with your values, the person staring back at you in the mirror becomes someone you admire, not because of achievements or success, but because of the unwavering commitment to doing what's right. That kind of respect is not just earned from others, it's earned from yourself, and it's the kind of respect that lasts a lifetime. Integrity is the cornerstone of long-lasting success. You can achieve success in various ways, but it's important to understand that not all success is the same. Some people reach the top by stepping on others, cutting corners, or sacrificing their morals. They may find wealth, fame, or power, but the foundation they've built is unstable. Success earned through dishonesty or unethical behavior doesn't last because it's hollow at its core. It's like building a house on sand. It may stand for a while, but eventually the cracks begin to show. Over time, the facade crumbles and what's left is nothing but ruins. The price of such success often comes at the cost of reputation, trust, and respect. People might remember what you achieved, but they'll also remember how you achieved it, and that tarnishes everything. On the other hand, integrity is the foundation that creates enduring success. When your actions are in harmony with your values, when you operate with honesty, fairness, and respect for others, you build a legacy that stands the test of time. Success rooted in integrity has deep, solid foundations. It doesn't waver in the face of challenges because it's built on principles that are unwavering. When you choose integrity over shortcuts, you earn trust. And trust is invaluable once it's earned. It opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. People are drawn to those who operate with transparency and accountability, knowing that their word can be relied upon, their actions are predictable, and their motives are pure. The true measure of success isn't just in what you achieve, but how you achieve it. The world may be impressed by accolades, awards, and material wealth, but what people really respect is character. They respect those who take the high road, even when it's harder, even when it means delaying gratification or enduring setbacks. That's because integrity doesn't always offer the quickest path to success, but it offers the surest one. When you align your actions with your values, you send a powerful message not just to others, but to yourself. You affirm your self-worth, build confidence in your abilities, and know that your success is truly yours, earned without compromise or regret. People will remember not only what you did, but how you did it. Your reputation is built on the choices you make when no one is watching, the difficult decisions you face when the stakes are high. Integrity shapes those moments. It's easy to be swayed by temptation, to take the easier route when the harder one requires sacrifice. But those who build their success on integrity understand the long game. They know that true success is not measured in days or even years, but in lifetimes. The legacy of integrity lasts far beyond the moment. It shapes how people talk about you when you're not in the room, how you're remembered long after you've moved on. Integrity requires courage because it is not always the easiest path to follow. There will be moments in your life when standing up for what you believe in will demand everything from you. It could be at work, when everyone around you is engaging in unethical practices, and you're expected to go along with it to keep your job. It could be in personal relationships, where doing the right thing might mean risking rejection, misunderstanding, or isolation. In these situations, the pressure to bend your values can feel immense, and the temptation to take the easy road can be overwhelming. It's not uncommon to be filled with fear of losing something important, fear of standing alone, or fear of being judged. But it's precisely in these moments that your integrity comes into play. Integrity is not about having all the right answers or being morally flawless. It's about having the courage to stick to your principles, especially when doing so is difficult. Courage in this context is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. It's about recognizing that, while making the right decision may come with immediate consequences, compromising your integrity has far greater long-term costs. People often think of integrity as something you display when others are watching. But the truth is, integrity is more about what you do when no one else is looking. It's about those quiet, difficult decisions you make when there's no one to applaud you for doing the right thing, and no one to hold you accountable if you don't. There's an old saying that goes, character is what you do in the dark. It speaks to the idea that real integrity is about consistency. It's not just something you turn on when it's convenient or when there's a reward. It's a commitment to living by your values regardless of the situation or who might be watching. When faced with hard decisions, the courage to hold on to your integrity is what sets you apart. It's what helps you sleep at night, knowing that no matter the outcome, you didn't betray yourself or your beliefs. The alternative, choosing to compromise, to give in to fear or pressure, leads to regret. Even if you gain something temporarily, the cost to your self-respect is far too high. Integrity is also about being able to look in the mirror and be proud of the choices you've made, even when those choices come at a price. It's about standing firm in the face of adversity and saying, I won't compromise who I am, no matter the cost. And yes, that takes courage, a kind of courage that's often undervalued in a world where shortcuts, quick fixes, and easy wins are glorified. In the end, living with integrity might mean you don't always win in the conventional sense, but it does mean you'll win in ways that truly matter. It means you'll live with a clear conscience, knowing you didn't take the easy way out, knowing you stood firm in your principles even when the stakes were high. This courage doesn't come naturally to everyone. It's a choice, a decision you have to make over and over again throughout your life. Each time you choose integrity over compromise, you build that muscle, making it easier the next time. But every time you give in to pressure, you weaken that muscle, making it harder to stand firm the next time you're tested. So in the end, integrity and courage go hand in hand. It's not about perfection, it's about being brave enough to choose what's right, over and over again, no matter the cost. Integrity is the foundation of a legacy that endures. When people reflect on your life, it won't be the material possessions or accolades that stand out. Instead, they'll remember how you lived, how you interacted with others, and the values you upheld. Integrity is what defines your legacy because it reflects your character. It's about more than simply telling the truth or doing the right thing when it's convenient. It's about consistency and living by your principles, even when no one is watching. Your legacy isn't something that you craft at the end of your life, it's something you're building with every decision, every action, and every word. In life, there are moments when your integrity will be tested. Adversity often serves as a mirror, revealing the true nature of who we are. When challenges arise, when the stakes are high, and when it would be easier to take shortcuts or compromise your values, those are the moments when integrity matters most. The way you handle adversity, the way you choose to respond in difficult situations, will echo long after the situation itself has passed. It's easy to be kind, honest, and principled when things are going well, but it's when you're under pressure that your true character is revealed. And people remember that. They remember how you treated them when you had the power to help or harm them. They remember how you stood firm in your beliefs, even when it wasn't popular. Integrity isn't just about how you treat others, it's also about how true you are to yourself. It's about living authentically, ensuring that your actions align with your words and beliefs. Being true to your principles means standing firm in your convictions, even when others might waver. It's easy to be swayed by the opinions and expectations of others, but staying true to your values, even in the face of opposition, is a sign of strength. When your life reflects authenticity and consistency, people take notice. They see someone who doesn't just talk about values, but lives by them, and that leaves a lasting impact. As you navigate your journey, it's essential to understand that every decision you make adds another chapter to the story of your life. Every time you choose integrity over convenience, honesty over deceit, and kindness over cruelty, you're shaping the narrative of your legacy. Each interaction, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture of who you are. Whether you're aware of it or not, people are watching, learning from your actions, and forming an impression of you based on how you live your life. Your legacy is not just what you leave behind in terms of tangible achievements, but the intangible values that will carry on through others. When people remember you, they won't recount the things you owned or the awards you won. Instead, they'll speak of your kindness, your honesty, and your unwavering commitment to your values. They will remember how you made them feel, how you uplifted them in times of need, and how you stood as a beacon of integrity in a world that often values success over substance. Living with integrity means living a life guided by unwavering principles. It's about choosing what is right, even when no one is watching. When you embrace integrity, your actions are authentic and aligned with your core values. People around you begin to notice. They see the way you stand firm, even when it would be easier to bend. They witness how you prioritize honesty, even when deception might offer a quicker solution. It's not just the grand gestures that define integrity, it's in the small, everyday decisions, choosing to be truthful when a lie could avoid conflict, opting for fairness even when favoritism is tempting, and standing by what is just even when it makes you unpopular. What's remarkable about integrity is the effect it has on others. People may not always say it, but they are deeply influenced by the examples set by those who lead with character. When they see someone making the hard choices, guided by honesty and fairness, it serves as a reminder of what they should strive for. It's not always easy to uphold integrity, especially in a world that sometimes rewards the opposite. But those who do serve as beacons for others, illuminating a path that is often hard to walk. This is where inspiration begins. Your actions, grounded in truth and authenticity, give others the courage to follow suit. The ripple effect of integrity is profound. One person's choice to live with character can inspire another to do the same, creating a chain reaction that extends far beyond what the original person might ever see. You might inspire your coworkers to adopt more ethical practices, or you may encourage a friend to be more honest in their relationships. You might influence your children or younger generations who are constantly looking for role models of integrity to emulate. The way you live becomes a silent but powerful lesson in how others should live. You may never know the full scope of how your integrity touches those around you, but its impact is undeniable. Integrity is also contagious. It builds trust and fosters environments where others feel safe to be their authentic selves. When people see you standing for what is right, even when it's difficult, they begin to believe they can do the same. Your steadfastness in truth becomes a source of strength for those who may be struggling to find their own. Integrity doesn't just inspire, it empowers. It gives others permission to be honest, to be fair, and to seek the truth no matter the cost. Moreover, the inspiration that integrity brings is not just a passive feeling, it compels people to take action. Seeing someone lead with integrity can be a turning point for many. It might inspire them to make decisions they've been avoiding, or to stand up for what they believe in, even in the face of opposition. The courage it takes to live a life of integrity can ignite a similar courage in others, creating a ripple that spreads far and wide. In essence, integrity transforms lives, not just your own, but the lives of those you touch. You may not always see the immediate effects, but the influence of your example will linger. It becomes a guiding light for others who are searching for the right path. Living with integrity isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about being a catalyst for change in the world around you. Through your commitment to honesty, fairness, and truth, you are helping to build a world where those values matter. Even when you can't see the change happening, rest assured it is. Integrity is not a one-time accomplishment or a destination you reach and then move on from. It's a commitment you make every single day, in every action you take, and in every decision you face. Integrity is woven into the fabric of who you are, and it's through the consistency of your choices that it truly manifests. Each day brings its own set of challenges and opportunities, and with them comes the chance to choose between what's easy and what's right. It's easy to say you value integrity, but the real test comes when no one is watching, when the stakes seem low, and when the decision feels inconsequential. In those moments, your true character is revealed, and it's here that integrity takes root. The key to living a life of integrity is to treat it like a practice, not an end goal. Just as you train your body through regular exercise, you must also train your character through daily acts of honesty and moral courage. There will be days when practicing integrity feels natural, when the right choice is obvious and the path is clear. But there will also be days when the temptation to take shortcuts, to compromise your values, or to go against what you know is right becomes overwhelming. It's in those moments that integrity becomes a conscious effort, a deliberate decision to stand firm in your principles, even when it's difficult. Every small decision matters. The seemingly insignificant choices, like whether to tell a white lie or keep a promise, may feel trivial at the time, but they add up. Integrity is built in these small, everyday moments. When you consistently choose honesty, even when it's inconvenient, and uphold your values, even when no one else will know, you're building a foundation that will serve you in the bigger moments of life. Those small acts of integrity are like the bricks that form the structure of your character. Over time, they create a strong, stable foundation that can withstand the storms of life. When larger challenges arise, when you're faced with a moral dilemma that tests your core beliefs, it's the daily practice of integrity that will guide you. Because you've trained yourself to do the right thing in the small moments, it will feel more natural to do the right thing when the stakes are high. You won't have to question your instincts because you've already aligned them with your values. Integrity will no longer be a struggle or something you have to think about. It will be second nature. Living with integrity requires a constant recommitment. It's not something you can achieve once and then rest on. Every day is a fresh opportunity to reaffirm your dedication to honesty, fairness, and moral courage. Some days it will feel effortless, but on other days you'll need to remind yourself of the long-term importance of staying true to your values. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that small compromises don't matter, that bending the truth just a little won't have an impact. But integrity is fragile, and once you compromise it, even in the smallest way, it becomes easier to do it again. So, the challenge is to make integrity a habit, to practice it daily in the small decisions so that it becomes a part of who you are. The more you practice, the stronger your character will become, and when life throws its biggest tests your way, you'll be ready. You'll have built the foundation of integrity, and it will stand firm no matter what. Integrity is more than a moral ideal, it's a profound source of personal liberation. When you live a life grounded in integrity, you embrace a sense of freedom that is unmatched by any material possession or external validation. This freedom is not just about being honest with others, but primarily about being honest with yourself. It's the liberation from the constraints of deceit, the heavy burden of guilt, and the constant anxiety of being discovered for who you are not. Living with integrity means aligning your actions with your values. When your behaviors, decisions, and interactions reflect your core beliefs and principles, you create a life that is harmonious and true. This alignment eliminates the dissonance that comes from living a double life or compromising on your principles for temporary gains. Imagine the weight lifted from your shoulders when you no longer have to juggle conflicting stories or maintain a facade. The mental and emotional energy you free up can be redirected towards personal growth and pursuing genuine passions. The burden of lies is a heavy one. Lies are like chains that bind you to a false identity. They require constant upkeep and creativity, demanding more effort to maintain than the truth ever could. Each lie adds another layer to the intricate web you weave, increasing the risk of exposure and the stress of remembering what was said. When you commit to living truthfully, you eliminate this complexity. Your interactions become straightforward and authentic, fostering trust and respect in your relationships. This authenticity is not only liberating, but also deeply empowering. It allows you to build connections based on real understanding rather than superficial appearances. Moreover, integrity liberates you from guilt. Guilt is a powerful emotional anchor that can hold you back from living fully. When you act against your principles, you often experience a deep sense of remorse and self-reproach. This internal conflict can erode your self-esteem and cloud your judgment. By living in alignment with your values, you eliminate these sources of guilt. Each action you take is a reflection of your true self, free from regret or self-doubt. This sense of inner peace is invaluable. It allows you to move through life with confidence and clarity. Another significant aspect of living with integrity is the freedom from fear of exposure. When you act in alignment with your values, you have nothing to hide. There is no fear of being caught in a lie or of having your true nature revealed. This freedom from fear enables you to face challenges and confront difficult situations with courage. It empowers you to stand tall, knowing that your actions and decisions are a true reflection of who you are. This unshakable confidence is a powerful asset, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and poise. Ultimately, the freedom that comes with integrity is the freedom to be yourself. It is the freedom to own your choices, to stand by your principles, and to live a life that reflects your true self. This authenticity not only enhances your personal satisfaction, but also inspires those around you. People are drawn to genuine individuals who live their values openly. In living with integrity, you set a powerful example and create a positive ripple effect in your community. In sum, integrity is the ultimate form of freedom. It liberates you from the constraints of deceit, the weight of guilt, and the fear of exposure. It allows you to live authentically and confidently, embracing each challenge with a clear conscience and a true sense of self. This freedom is a source of immense peace and strength, empowering you to navigate life with grace and resilience. Integrity is the cornerstone of true success, a principle that transcends the superficial metrics of wealth, fame, or power. These external markers often captivate our attention, but they do not necessarily equate to a fulfilling or admirable life. True success, in its most profound sense, is about the strength of your character and the steadfastness of your values. It is a reflection of how consistently you adhere to your principles, even when faced with significant challenges or temptations. To live with integrity means to be unwavering in your values, regardless of the external pressures or the potential for personal gain. This is not always the easiest path to follow. Often, the choice to act with integrity requires standing against the tide, resisting shortcuts, and refusing to compromise on what you know to be right. It demands a level of self-discipline and courage that is not always recognized or rewarded in the moment, but is crucial for achieving a lasting sense of accomplishment and self-respect. When you operate from a place of integrity, your actions are guided by a consistent set of values. These values act as a compass, directing you toward choices that align with your principles and moral convictions. It is a commitment to truthfulness, fairness, and respect for others, even when no one is watching. This commitment often means rejecting opportunities for personal advancement that come at the expense of your ethical standards. It means choosing to act honorably in all situations, understanding that true success cannot be built on a foundation of deceit or manipulation. Living with integrity also involves a sense of responsibility toward others. It means treating people with dignity, maintaining honesty in your dealings, and being accountable for your actions. This responsibility extends beyond mere compliance with societal norms. It reflects a deeper commitment to making choices that contribute positively to the lives of those around you. True success is measured by the impact you have on others and the legacy you leave behind, a legacy defined not by the accolades or wealth you accumulated, but by the respect and admiration you earned through your principled conduct. Moreover, integrity influences how you perceive your own achievements. Success achieved through dishonest or unethical means can leave you with a hollow sense of accomplishment. It may bring temporary satisfaction, but it lacks the profound fulfillment that comes from knowing you have stayed true to yourself. When you look back on your life, the memories of times when you held firm to your values will be the moments that define your sense of pride and contentment. It is these moments that reassure you that you have lived a life worthy of respect and admiration. In essence, integrity is the thread that weaves together the fabric of true success. It ensures that your achievements are not merely the result of chance or expediency, but are a testament to your commitment to living a principled life. By choosing to act with integrity, you align your actions with your values, creating a harmonious blend of purpose and accomplishment. This alignment brings a sense of inner peace and satisfaction that far surpasses any external validation. True success, therefore, is not a destination or a collection of accolades, but a journey marked by unwavering adherence to the values that define who you are. So as you walk out of here today, ask yourself, how will you define success? Will it be by the standards of the world or by the standards of your character? Choose integrity. Build a strong character. And in doing so, you'll build a life that truly matters. Thank you